Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello. We are here again.
Yes. So come on in. Don't forget to like, share, and participate in this conversation because this is going to be a good one, y'all. Welcome to B3rdPower Behind the Scenes Chat. I'm, of course, T. Lynn Tate.
And I'm Sherry Cook.
And we are your gracious guest host. We are your gracious host.
Yes.
We are your host for these next few minutes. But we are excited tonight. We have an amazing guest that is coming back. He's been with us before. We had a blast when he visited us at the release of his book, I believe it was. Yeah. And we're super excited to have back with us tonight, Mr. Derron E. Short of unComplicate Your Relationship. Welcome, Derron.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you, Derron? I know you've had a lot going on. How's the baby?
Oh my goodness, he's getting big. He's getting big. Almost 3 months. He's look like he's 12. So he's
yes. Well, we're excited to see you back in the house, and I love the name of your group and your page, unComplicate Your Relationship, because how many times have we complicated our own relationships?
Right.
We're the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to come up with a name that was that all of.
Uh-oh. Your sound cut out.
My sound cut out.
Oh, you're back. There you go. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I said I wanted to come up with a name that everyone could relate to because we all have issues and faults.
Yes. Yes.
We really do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have the best topics. I mean, just the best posts, conversation starters. It's like on point.
And we're going to talk about some of those conversation starters tonight because you had a few over the last few days that made me say, So before we get into our general conversation, let's first do some house rules. Everyone that's watching, again, please remember to share and participate in the conversation. We want to see your comments. We want to see your questions because he is taking questions live. And while you guys conjure up what your questions are going to be, Derron, why don't you share a little bit with our audience about who you are and a little bit of your background?
Okay, so my name is Derron E. Short. I am originally from Delaware. I am American. My wife is Zimbabwean. I'm actually here in Zimbabwe right now. I've been here for I guess like half a year. The culture, I love the people. It's like a whole different experience. And
I want to come. Can I come?
Hey, to be honest, my wife and I were actually working on something to bring people starting next year because we have so many requests about can I come? I
couldn't even stop. I wanted to wait until you finish, but I'm like so excited. Like, yes, I want to be there.
Yeah, it's awesome. So basically what I do is talking about love and relationships, love, marriage, relationships. That's basically what I do.
Yes. And talking about love and relationships, listen, you have to go, if you're not already following him or liking his page, go follow the page, unComplicate Your Relationship. Mm-hmm. When I say he gives you some things to think about, honey, he gives you some things to think about. And I have I told him he put one up the other day that made me say, "Oh boy!" And I'm looking to put it now because it was a couple of them, and I want to make sure I got the right one. And I want to make sure I quote him correctly because he said, "Where's the one you talked about the black eye? Where's my black eye one?" Did you see it? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but my other one here is your woman deserves the best of you and not the rest of you. Please don't give me that little bit of mess that you have left. Okay? Don't give me the little bit of that mess.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Heal first. Do something. Don't bring that mess this way. I love it.
Right.
No. And then the one, I think you put this out today when you said, when you're getting ready to divorce your partner, we're just talking about some of the stuff he says, y'all. If as you're contemplating divorcing your partner, make sure you think about what you contributed to that mess, so you don't create them bad habits to the next relationship.
Right.
I said, wait a minute, did you just tell them what part? Did you tell them look in the mirror?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we all got to do.
Right.
All of us got to do.
So how's things been going since the book release, and how's that going?
Well, as I stated, I'm here in Zimbabwe. I think God wanted me to see a lot of things, learn a lot of things, meet a lot of people. During that time, I was doing a lot of blogging. I kind of stopped the blogging and actually picked it up tomorrow. But I stopped the blogging. There were some things that I had to get right within myself. I was talking to my wife, and one of the things was I had to go through a process of forgiving some people for some things that, forgiving some people for some things that happened. And it took her to tell me, this is not the way to go or whatnot. But anyway, in going through this process, God was dealing with me about a lot, and he had to mature me for right now. So I had to stop blogging, stop writing. I was still writing books, but I had to stop blogging like every day. And now I have a lot of information to get out.
Well, you know what, and that's important that you say that, because a lot of people look at us, and especially those of us that are like leaders in different areas, and feel like that we've got the answers, right? But we have a lot that we are processing and dealing with, even through this journey of next levels, right? So to be able to honestly say, like, listen, I had to deal with some things myself. And forgiving is a huge issue, with everybody. And forgiveness and healing through forgiveness really helps you get to that next level, right? Once we learn to forgive either whoever or ourselves, right? In that forgiving process, it's a process that we forgive whoever it is or ourselves, so that we can move on to that next level.
True. Because you want to give the people the best, the better part of you instead of the bitter part of you. And I think a lot of times as leaders, we get caught up on overlooking the bitter part of ourselves. So we can't grow and become the best if we're not really willing to deal with the worst. And so, I really had to look at some things inside of me to get to where I am today. It's a growing process. We're all growing.
Every day.
We're all growing.
We're growing every day.
One of the things that people read my posts, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, but a lot of people read my posts, especially men, and they think that I'm coming from a place of pride because they've never spoken to me. So, they've never spoken to me. They think I'm coming from a place of pride, and they're like, well, I'm receiving all these messages. But then once I break down to them what I'm saying, and they understand, they hear a different tone. Even though they haven't heard my voice, they hear a different tone. They were like, okay, I can receive what you're saying now, because you're not coming at me with this arrow shooting, saying it's you. But, God is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. If you're not learning something every day, there's a problem. True. So just as you're growing every day, if you're not learning something every day, there's a problem.
Right.
So there's a problem.
Yes. But I think I really love how you address it, not just from the perspective, because I know that sometimes in relationships with hurt feelings, it's easy to always do this. You know what I mean? But it's not so easy sometimes that in the process of that, to be able to look at yourself and really say, what role did I play in that? And is it baggage that I'm carrying around with me? Is it Lord, we got all kinds of sound effects. That's okay, y'all. You know what happened when you streaming live. But it's really being able to look at it and get to and I'll say a mature place, because I know it takes maturity, and I know that it takes it takes courage sometimes to look at your own self and to say, well, I wasn't exactly right with that. Or maybe I could have done this better, but when it comes to your feelings being hurt, especially in relationships, sometimes we don't always know how to communicate, how we feel, why we may feel that way, even with the forgiveness, because sometimes we're carrying unforgiveness, not just for other people, but like you said, forgiving yourself. It may be mistakes you made in the past that you're still carrying that baggage with you. And because you haven't gotten to a place of healing or addressing it with yourself, you're constantly taking it out on and hurting the people that are there trying to love you. You know what I mean? So I think that's great that you address it from both sides of the ball and not just in you know.
Yeah, I try to do that. I think one of the lessons that my mom taught me, I talk about my mom all the time because the things that she taught me as a child, I didn't understand how they were going to play a role in my life, but they have been the core of who I am today. But anyway, one of the lessons that she taught me was, she taught me to take what's mine, and go your way. It was coming out of there was a Bible story about a guy. He went to the vineyard and got these workers. Well, anyway, so workers got upset, and he basically told them, "Take what's yours and go your way." And the way she taught me this, I learned that when I read something, we all write things on social media, and some people feel as though they got to quote, they got to respond, comment on everything they disagree with. No, take what's yours and go your way. And even with us as husband and wife couples, engaged couples, whatever the case may be, take what's yours and go your way. Don't, oh, you need to learn this, you need to read this. No, take what applies to you and go your way. And that's how we become better individuals for the individual that we're with. Take what's yours and go your way.
And go your way.
In saying that, so do you feel that, like T was saying earlier, a lot of times we're emotional, right? Especially women, right? We're very emotional, and a lot of times, I call it the emotional hijack moment. We're in that being emotionally hijacked. Have you noticed that a lot of times that people are just totally responding out of emotion?
Yeah. It comes with being self-aware, knowing that you are a person that out of emotion you're going to fly off the handle and kind of I would say act in your emotions versus calming down and thinking through what you're going to do, how you're going to act, how you're going to respond. Now, being self-aware is, okay, if I'm that person that I fly off, I'm going to take my emotions and fly off the bat. I may need to take a walk, take a drive, or whatever to calm down, think about how I'm going to adjust the situation, come back and regroup. Let's address it in a positive fashion, positive manner.
So, where do you get most of your conversation starters from? Are they actually emailed to you or sent to you, or do you come up with these on your own?
Now, conversation starters, are you referring
I
to
call them
the
conversation starters.
I would love
Exactly. It's because
I
it's
would
stuff
love
that
for
makes
you.
you think. It's just conversation
Got you.
starters. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I usually do like two kinds of quotes, two kinds of conversation starters, if you would. Now the quotes, those things just come up in my mind. For those who don't know, I'm a musician. I've been playing for years, and growing up in the church, I got a firsthand view of marriage playing at these seminars. So a lot of the things that were taught, a lot of things I saw, they pop up in my mind from childhood up until now. So the quotes, that's where they come from. I would love to know what you think about this one. I'm getting the emails, DMs, and whatnot, and the people want to know what I think, and then they want everyone else's opinion. They kind of filter out, throw away the garbage, and we go back to this. Take what's yours and go your way. That's what they do.
Right.
They take what's theirs and go their way.
And go their
So
way.
that's kind of like where that comes from.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. Look, I'm looking at one now. He said, if family tries to cause division in your marriage, you might need to bless them with your absence.
Yeah.
A lot of people
That's
not ready
something
for that one.
yeah.
Especially the helicopter moms of sons, right?
Are
Yeah,
you a
like
helicopter mom?
no, I'm
Excuse me.
not. Like, you know what? Okay, I'm guilty of. I am guilty of this. I don't want him because he's only 23, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like one, he needs to be careful, right? Be careful.
Right.
You definitely don't want to make any babies. And my grandfather used to always say, if she's good enough to sleep with, she's good enough to marry. So don't just lay with anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've always told him, like, don't bring him home if you're not serious. Like, I don't even want to meet him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not serious. So I don't get to meet any. I haven't met anybody except for one, but the one he's dating now, I'm always like, well, when am I gonna meet her? You're always over there. Well, when am I gonna meet her?
You forgot that you told them. Don't
You're
just
always over
right
there spending time with my man. You always over there. You thought, when am I gonna meet her? And he's always like, okay. When I'm ready, I'm like, well, that's not right. You can't. So yeah, I'm trying to, and we're all crossing that bridge together, right? I've never raised adult children, right? He's my first. So I'm trying to cross that bridge, but not be that, controlling mom. Like, that's not
overbearing. Got you.
Right. So I don't know what to do.
It's hard though. It's hard. I mean, my son is not as old as yours by far, but I can imagine that being hard because it's like when you're looking at your kids and you know what you've been through and you've seen what's out here, and then you try to make them better. It's kind of hard not to be like, that ain't the one, baby. Like it's hard not to walk them through that or to, swerve in their lane a little bit. But I mean.
And how do you? I mean, your mom. How are we supposed to respond? And I don't know. Sometimes I'm kind of torn with it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think in my case, I think what mom did was basically what she put inside of us. She just let us go with that. When she had something to say, she would say it, but it didn't come across as you need to do this, you need to do that. It came across as like advice that wisdom. We might think, let me think about this for a minute. Because if you come down on them, you need to do this, you need to do that. Even if they bring someone home or they're with someone that's not the one, you can, how should I put it? You can highlight your points and then walk away. But a lot of times as parents, especially women, when it comes to them boys, and you don't want them to bring home the right one, the wrong one, get involved with the wrong one. A lot of times we're overbearing. My wife here, now my son, my little one. Now I have grown children, and I have my little one here. And this boy is 2 months. I'm ready for him to get up out the bed already. My wife's like, no, because that's how our mother is. But as long as you're not overbearing, I mean, he's going to take it all enough. When you start to interfere, then that's a different thing. But it's all love.
And I refuse, and I always try to catch myself at that point. Like, I'm not going to interfere, and I want you to live your life. And you're going to go through heartbreaks, and you're going to go through ups and downs, and you're going to go through. But I don't want to be that parent that's at you. But at the same time, I want to be that parent that's at you. You know what I mean? So you have to learn how to control it. So yeah. Right. And then he has a twin sister, so it's. Yes, I get both, the best of both worlds, right? The boy and the girl, and relationships. It's just driving me crazy. So a lot of times I'll take the screenshot and send it to him like, you see what this is? Now, how would you respond to this?
Right.
Oh, my goodness. But I have another conversation starter with you for you that you posted, I don't know, within the last few days. You said, my husband, this is what we mean, y'all. This is why you need to go and, again, connect yourself with uncomplicate your relationships. This was a good one. My husband and sister spend entirely too much time together apart from me. He texts her more than me. He says he enjoys her company, but what about mine? Am I wrong, or is this strange? Now, that's a conversation starter right there.
Real?
I would show you my phone. That was something real.
No, I'm looking at it, but was that really sent from somebody?
Yeah. The thing that's like that's like mild compared to some of the things I get. But yeah, that was real. The things that I get the most are usually when it has to do with family. It's usually in-laws. It's usually that mother, like we're talking about. It's usually that mother-in-law. But yeah, that was a real situation. I thought it was strange, and
I think
she was
it's
like,
I think it's strange.
I think it's really strange.
To each his own, but
Yeah.
that was really strange. So, but a lot of times people try to make you feel like when they know they're doing something wrong, they'll try to make you feel like you're the one going crazy, and that was kind of that situation. So I'm quite sure as she read the comments and everything, because there were a couple people that said whatever they said, but most people were in agreement that was very strange, and boundaries, borderlines, everything was messed up all in that situation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what are some other common, I know you said you get a lot, especially with the in-laws. What are some other common questions that you tend to get relationship wise?
I get a lot of in-laws. I get cheating, forgiveness, how to deal with a cheating spouse, when to let him or her go. Another thing I get within a lot of within the church, I get a lot of first ladies, a lot of pastors' wives. They can't come out openly and say this or say that, and they're taking a lot of, I would say, they have a lot of pressure on them, a lot of heat on them, because they're staying in relationships, really, to be honest, that they should get out of. And I'm talking anything from abuse to rape, and I'm talking where you would call the cops, the guy would be arrested.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of craziness. What else do I get? I get the whole step kids disrespecting me thing, on both sides, the male and the female. There's a range of, I basically get everything.
It's all.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's always shocked me when I see posts when like a woman will say that the man doesn't accept her children the same, or they don't treat each other's children equally, or the wife doesn't treat his children from the previous relationship equally, or she doesn't treat. That always shocks me, because I've always felt like, okay, not treating the children the same would be a deal breaker for me.
Exactly.
That would totally be a deal breaker with me. And I'm sure that they're not just seeing this once they got married.
Right.
This was happening before you got married. You allowed it to happen, and then you got married. Did you think it was going to change? So it's always shocking to me when I see people ask questions in that kind of, scenario, like, oh, my husband doesn't treat our child the same, or doesn't allow me to discipline or say anything to their child. Like, I've never gotten that.
Wow, that happens a lot. I say one thing that helped me out, in that regard is my mom was the community mom. So everyone came over for prayer and all these kind of things. Well, my mom, she treated everyone the same. She loved them. And I remember she took in there was this guy, my mom took him in. I think he was 2 years younger than me. She took him in, and she had to take care of him for a little bit because his mom had a situation going on. But anyway, it was me, my brother, my sister. He got the same treatment we got. He had to do he had the chores we had. He got the love we had. So I learned at an early age that, and plus my mom taught us, if you have someone that had kids, those kids become your kids. Now, those kids become your kids when it comes time to bless them, when it comes time to give them things they like and things they don't like, which is discipline. And that's the flip side of the coin, because a lot of times you have the person saying, usually it's women, saying, oh, he doesn't like my kids, he doesn't like my kids. You have that one side of the coin. The other side is this. When he goes, you love for him to buy for your kids, or do those things like that for your kids. But when he tells that child no, and that child has a fit, you have an issue with that. Now I get a lot of fathers who say, well, she tells me she wants me to be the father, but when the father says no, then she's cussing me out. Then the child's cussing me out. So it works. There's both sides of that coin there.
Yeah, and that's one thing that women have to learn, is to get out of the way and let men be fathers.
Yeah.
Right.
But
when that love
right, when it comes to blended families, it is hard sometimes, you know, because you're not just dealing with the child. Most of the time, the other parent is still involved, and then you have your significant other. And then if you have kids, it really has to be some boundary and some great co-parenting that Sherry and I always talk about. You got to have great co-parenting in place, because otherwise boundaries are going to be consistently crossed, and it's never going to be even, I don't want to say even Steven, but it's never going to be an even playing field, because you're always going to have, you know, one person that disagrees with something else. And you never know, in situations like that, Sherry, the other parent may be like, you can't discipline my child, don't say nothing to, you know, don't say nothing to my kid, and blah blah blah. But your kid lives in my household, so am I supposed to let your kid be disrespectful to me just because you feel like I shouldn't be able to? Like, it's a whole ball.
But see, the other parent must know their place as well. See, and I feel like if I know that my children are at their father's house, right? My children are at their father's house.
Yeah.
I trust my children's father to make judgments and take care of our children when they're at his house. It's not my place to handle how they do things at their house. If they're not abusing, mistreating them, treating them like Cinderella or something like that, then I don't have anything to say at what happens at their house. You have to know your place. And my role is not to jump into what they do over there. So when they come home through this door and they say, oh, daddy didn't let me play the game because he says that I was talking back, and I'm going to say, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So did you go through your punishment? Okay. And I'm
prepared though. Remember, you at a different maturity level than some other people are in their relationships. It just really, like, what you're saying is very true, and I 100% agree with you. But then that's teaching people how to do that, because again, you don't know what emotional place they're coming from and how they're dealing with the relationship. Because you and I talk about this all the time. Just because he's not the right one for you and he move on with his life doesn't mean that he can't father his children, and or the same thing for the mother. You know what I mean? Respecting those boundaries. But again, it comes to them co-parenting together to work that out. And a lot of times people they can't even communicate with each other. So how are they going to?
So I say again, ladies, step back and let fathers be fathers to their children. You know what I'm saying? Stop it.
So I'll say this. I think that in that situation that you were just describing, where you got, let's say you got two individuals together and you got both of their exes come in with crazy things. What needs to happen is where the kids stay, you have the parent, what I like to call the dominant parent, and you have the step parent. Now, I don't believe in the step thing, but just for description, you have the dominant parent and you have the step parent. That dominant parent, regardless of what their father or their mother says that lives outside the house, that dominant parent within the house needs to be the one to step up and enforce, no, this is how things are going to run here. Because if the other parent, to say the step parent is saying it, and the dominant parent is not enforcing that, then what that child is going to do is whatever Papa said outside the house, whatever Mama says outside the house, how I can disrespect that step parent, they're going to do it. But when that dominant parent on both sides of the field say, "Oh, regardless of what they say here, this is how this goes on here," hey, it cuts that out. Not saying that it will 100% leave, but you'll be dealing with, let's say in percentages, you'll be dealing with, it'll be 90% good versus 10% good. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know what I mean? This is such great conversation, you guys. That's what we mean by when you get with him, you and follow again, you get all kind of different conversation starters, all kind of different topics that are good and that you can dialogue about, you know, and he takes anonymous questions. But as always, you know what time it is. We are headed over a little bit of our time, but Derron, we want to thank you so much for joining us. You got some great things going on. What you was getting ready to say, Chef? You got some great things going on. So tell us what's going on in your world, what people can look for, and how people can get in contact with you other than the group on Facebook, Uncomplicate Your Relationships.
Well, to be quick, I know we're running out of time. Well, anyway, so I'm actually redesigned my website. You guys can visit my website tomorrow for the new design and catch up on what I have going on at www.DerronInspires.com. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. Derron Inspires, and that's right there on the link below. Make sure you guys follow him. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to what you guys have planned next year so I can get out that way. Yes. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm all ready. Right. Yes. Right. I'm excited.
Yes. But again, we just want to say thank you so much. Congratulations on you revamping and relaunching, going live with your website. We look forward to the blog returning. Yes.
And please tell your beautiful wife we say hello. Kudzi, right? Kudzi? Yes. Please tell her hello. You always give her these awesome shout outs. It's like, oh my goodness.
And thank you for lending us your time. We told y'all we global, baby, all the way from Zimbabwe. I don't even know what time it is there, but thank you for making yourself available to us. We certainly appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to coming back.
Yes.
You know it. We
I really want to do the in studio chat so that we can bring couples in, you know what I mean, and bring in maybe awesome. Singles. Like I really want to do that. That would be fun.
Just let me know when.
Yeah,
absolutely. But before we go, Sherry and I have some great announcements that we want to make sure that you guys don't forget. Coming up on August the 23rd, we will be having our youth town hall summit. We want to make sure that all of our parents and youth get involved. Tickets are now available on Eventbrite, or you can go to B3rdPower over on Facebook, and you'll be able to go to the event and purchase your tickets from there. It is a free event, but in order for you to participate, you must have a ticket to be on the broadcast, right? So it's free for you. It's free either way. You can watch it the way you're watching our show now, or if you want to participate, and I mean like really get into the dialogue, you need to have a ticket so that you can get the information to be a part of it.
And and we will have available in studio. Yes, we will have some availability to show up in studio, and we will definitely have it available virtually. Get your young people involved. If you have any organizations that you're associated with, make sure that we register our young people. Let's not ask them if they want to participate. Let's go ahead and register our young people so that, you know, we can hear what's going on in their minds and to hear what they're involved with. It's a lot going on right now, and 2020 has really set us, dealt us a hand, I should say, has seriously dealt us a hand. And we want to definitely continue to encourage our young people and listen to them at the same time, because they are creative, they're innovative, and they are ready to make change. And we want to hear from them. And we don't want this to be a one-time event. If, you know, the kids are really active and looking forward to this conversation, we want to continue talking to our youth. We want to continue to encourage them, continue to inspire them to be bigger, dream bigger. And so definitely get them registered, and we'll be looking forward to that on the 23rd.
Absolutely. And we're looking for, again, youth of all ages. We're also looking for youth advocates, calling all youth entrepreneurs. We want you guys, we want to hear your voice. We are preparing on September the 13th. We will be having our Community of Champion Awards.
Yay!
We are honoring people that are active in our global community, all right? Notice I said global. So you don't just have to be in the DMV area to be recognized and or to get an award. We are seeking nominations. If you have someone that is doing the doggone thing in the community, making a difference, being intentional, bridging gaps, and building community, make sure you send your nomination to B3rdPower@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We will be placing and selecting our nominees very, very soon. And if you want your nominees to be counted, then make sure you send us their name, okay? Name and a description of who they are and what they do and how we can contact, that type of stuff. But anyway, that is all that we have right now. Thank you so much again for joining us, Ron. We certainly appreciate you. We'll continue to follow you and support you on unComplicate Your Relationships. Go check it out, people. This was just a snippet, right? But there's so much more to conversate and talk about concerning relationships. As always, remember, it is a great day to make a difference in the lives of those around you. I'm T-Lynn Tate.
And I'm Sherry Cook.
And this has been B3rdPower Behind the Scenes Chat. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you on Monday, 7 p.m. Urban Style Media. Check us out, y'all. Have a good night.
Good night.